On this episode of Dietitian Life, we talk about staff changes, throwing people on the deep end, why your grades don't matter, and a bunch of other stuff. That's it. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dietitian Life, where we tell you about our weeks. I'll start. This week has been pretty hectic, just like last one. So I'm probably on equal par based on staffing changes and things of that nature. Basically, most of my week has been built on putting out fires and damage control rather than working forward on extra stuff, which means that my to-do list still has stuff from Monday that I haven't crossed off because it just keeps getting put on the back burner. Tuesdays even more so, and so on. So much of this week, it's been around kind of figuring out stuff, figuring out new ways or new challenges, and giving staff the opportunity to do more and throwing a couple of people in the deep end. So Pia and I have had a lot of discussions this week just about that stuff, who's ready, who's not, and
which is a really hard thing to know because you never know who's going to sink or swim, and unless given the opportunity, then it's really hard to demonstrate that, which is all well and good, but we probably don't have the capacity to just kind of go, oh, we'll just see how it goes. It's kind of important.
Yeah,
so
make or break. Yeah, so we basically picked a couple of people that we think are up for the challenge, and we're going to roll with it and see how it goes. Thankfully, I'm going to remove some of the people from my workload, which will help free me up to do more of the business development stuff and growth stuff rather than just damage control every single week.
So side note, is there any particular attributes that we identify with for selecting such people?
It's very individual as well. Decent clinician to start off with, can get through their base level work reasonably effectively, have shown that they can go above and beyond that, or above and beyond what their experience would tell them on a piece of paper. I think that is probably a big one based on all the people that we chose. They all have that.
I think another one is reasonably stable as an individual. Like even if you've got someone who's got a lot of stuff going on in their life, so that probably has a big impact on it. Can handle ebbs and flows, so can handle things when they're really busy, can handle things when they're not. So they've got the capacity to obviously create their own management of themselves. I think that's a big one. I think relatability and social skills are pretty important. So
varying levels.
Yeah, so able to communicate effectively with staff and also with external agencies, and it's obviously really difficult to demonstrate that. But say for example you might have one person you're thinking of and they may be amazing clinicians, but there may be other things that just don't make them ready yet. It might just be a matter of time as well.
Yeah, or you just might not have that personality.
Yeah.
Not everyone's built to be a manager or to manage extra stuff outside of just clinician-based work, and a lot of people don't want to do that either. So it's both knowing the people that are keen to try and then having the discussions with them around, all right, so this is where we think you're going to go really well, this is where you're going to struggle, we're going to support you in here, and hopefully get them to a point where they can boss it out. I guess something key, what Peter said about being a stable human, that's really important in management, just to be able to wash stuff off and then move forward. And we are still human, so you can still have it in the background. It's still going to weigh on you at some level, but in terms of your practitioners, it's making sure that that stress that you're feeling doesn't then just go onto them.
I can instantly tell with people, friends you associate with, the people that just do this. And if you're looking at someone to run a certain aspect or run a company, or there can't be this. Yes, all right, it might be doing this, but there certainly cannot be angry angles. It has to be pretty stable. Even if, for example, if that person is up here at some point, the other issue is that they'll be right down here at this point. So we can gradually build a person to a skill level that they're probably going to be performing better than what they were, but it has to be stable. Whatever that is, it just needs to be stable.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that I'd probably be able to push, but just not at this point in their career, you know, and a lot of them just want to be really good dietitians and get a better base knowledge, and I think that's really important. Like we said, there still need to be good clinicians. So
there still needs to be people that aren't managers, that are just good workers, and they can be just as valuable to an organisation as someone who's a manager. So I think
one conversation issue that we obviously probably are finding is that there's not a lot of those worker bees that just want to be worker bees and good clinicians. It's always about more.
I was going to say, everyone now thinks, the more is, I'm going to manage something or own a business or start a business and I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I want something to be just me, or I want to be better than everybody else, or what it might be, you know. So.
And I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it. But I don't think it's for everyone. Like, I think everyone now just thinks that, but you can be just as valuable as the worker bee. It sounds like a lower level thing, that you could be phenomenal as just that. Other stuff I've done, so I've been trying to figure out the workloads for all those managers or the new managers, and then manoeuvring different clinical loads as well based on movement of practitioners.
Which is super hard and frustrating and damaging in a lot of respects as well. Like, it's
especially in private practice, like continuity with clients is huge, and not only with clients but then the organisations we work with. Because if it's saying that you've got, you know, any turnover, really, it just doesn't look that good, even if it's the most non-related to the job reason, which is most of ours. Like, not all of them, 90% of them. So it's
super disappointing. Super disappointing. And also there's so much money spent as well. Yeah.
And then we're going to spend a buttload into this next month just to make sure everything kind of, hopefully, the business is going to do this, and then hopefully we just do this.
And we totally understand that. It's definitely an aspect of, you don't know what it's going to be like until you're in it, and there's a lot of that gelling and stuff. But I also believe that there's a lot of we just jump into a decision or a job sometimes just because it's there. So any job that you're going to get, obviously you don't know what it's going to be like, but it is really hard to obviously test them out beforehand. But it doesn't change the fact, unfortunately, people just come and go in jobs. We've talked about this previously. But it's important to reward the ones that obviously stay with us for a really long time, and that's part of being able to offer them positions like, a manager position and stuff like that, just to show people that there
is a progression there if you want to do it within the company.
If you don't want to, then absolutely fine.
Yeah, exactly. You're just as valuable. Other stuff, we had a business development kind of meeting with the company, so everyone was kind of invited to that. So had reasonable attendance, but really good ideas from the people that did attend. Just sent an email out kind of.
We can't tell you any of it because it's super private, confidential.
but a lot of it is kind of like how we like to run, is trying to challenging the standardised kind of ideals of what people think a dietitian should do, and rather than just thinking, all right, straight one-on-one client work, how else can we improve and do something different to stand out? So that's a lot of what we talked about, and a lot of what we'll try and push moving forward with some of the ideas. There was also ideas not just around business development, but also around practitioner development, doing peer-to-peer type learning. Something that we can share that we've talked about previously is that, that peer-to-peer learning can be really useful, rather than just always looking towards a very senior practitioner. If you've got someone on the same level in terms of experience, you can still have a different experience within that 6 months that you've had based on the clients that you have, or just approach things in a different way because you're a different human. So I think that will be good and something that we'll run with straight away.
I think that's essential to growth and happiness, because if you get into a role, the only thing that's going to make you grow or be happy is your clients. And if you use that as the only thing, even if it's in a job that you really, really like, at some point you'd probably get stale. I think you can only do what we do because we're bigger, we've got scale, so we've actually got the capacity to have an idea and follow through with it. And lately we haven't been able to because it's just been constantly having buckets of water thrown on our head each day of the week, which is super frustrating. And then you have new staff and you have new changes and turnover, and so people are just trying to get settled and then we move again. So I guess what we're saying is stay with us for as long as possible so we can show you that we can do so much more than just that clinical, baseline work, which is still really, really important. But if you were to go off on your own and do your own thing, that's all you got to do. Like, it might be a talk here and there and that's it, but in terms of being dynamic, generally you can only do that within a certain scope with what you do as your own human if you've just got a couple of people on board or something like that, unless you'll be in a hospital or a community centre and you've got all this allied health and you want to do big, broad stuff. And then we get to a point in our career where we want to make a bigger difference on maybe more of a global scale or a bigger scale or a national scale, and that obviously can still be achieved, but it's a challenge to do that if you're still seeing clients day in and day out.
Yeah, and then that comes to what I was going to say, is like you can't differentiate into 12 different things if you're only one person, because you just don't have enough time to do anything well. Like, you could be exceptional at doing a bunch of different stuff, but you'd have to hire a team and then that costs money. And do you have $500,000 to pay for staff? Like, to pay for 10 different staff to kind of help you achieve those different things. So yeah, it's
and there's always going to be frustrations with any organisation that you work with, whether it's not for profit or it is for profit, or doesn't matter. So it's just about finding that spot and that place where you can see yourself grow on all levels, I think. So yeah.
And then, like, if you're in like any company, even if it's a small one, if it's just you and one other practitioner, or if you're the owner, you've got one practitioner, it's like trying to emphasize the engagement of them in the company as much as possible. I think it's really important. It's something we try really hard, but of late, because of all the changes, we've kind of struggled a little bit with that, and we'll be honest with that. But previously we used to have really good engagement with everything that we do. So, I'll just say advocate for engaging with your staff as much as you can and trying to create that opportunity for them to grow in all different areas. They may not take it up.
Yeah, that's right.
They may not take it up, but it's giving them the opportunity, so that at the end of the day they can't go, oh, we never gave me the opportunity for that, or I'm going here because I've got the opportunity for this, even though, if you never gave it, or you had the possibility but you didn't think they wanted it. It's just like having those conversations and just seeing.
So things like I might pick up the phone and just call one of the people that I work with. How's your day? Did you have a good day? Shit like that. And it might seem annoying, but it helps. Or it might be sending a cute emoji at the end of the day or something like that, or like random shit like that. It helps because you feel like they actually do give a crap about you and how your day was. So Instagram is obviously a good one for us because all of the staff can obviously see it, see what we're doing, and again, that's a good way to kind of get interaction and engagement as well. But it is really difficult because obviously everyone's trying to get their own job done each day, and they just kind of get really insular in that respect. And even providing them with opportunities, it is still really hard to have people engage in that, absolutely. And I think with new staff and new turnover, and then you've got a new cohort of people that don't know anything about each other. So trying to have, group all that Zoom stuff that we do, try and make sure people see each other in person is really, really important. Listen to people talking about just random shit that doesn't have to be work related. Trying to get down to that level where if you do get to know someone is really important as well. Hence why there's so much money being spent to go and get bulk drunk at the end of 2 weeks' time, isn't it?
28th of July.
I'm hanging out for it.
We're sending four of us.
As we know, alcohol really does bring us down to this comfort level.
Opens us up.
Dry July.
Especially one of our managers can't wait till she has a wine.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
No one does. I hope you're watching this.
Luckily, they didn't embark on Dry July that way. Oh, did they?
They might have.
They did.
Oh, well. I'll just give them 2 days post.
Yeah, that's right.
Other stuff we did, so negotiate different contracts, new contracts again, different medical centres. Peter's been working on one with the organisers today in a medical centre.
Yeah.
Different medical centres across, different areas, over in Perth again, which is cool.
Got a new practitioner starting myself for Albury.
Oh, for Albury.
Yeah. And can actually start on the start date.
Yes. Yeah, we were holding out because she graduated, but then needed a DA number, and then you need to provide a number. So that's just like this long-winded process, and thankfully we got it.
So I'm off down south. Nailed it. Yes. To go and visit them.
Is that next Saturday?
I leave tomorrow.
Oh, then you're back on Wednesday.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And then something else, another conversation that I had was just with some students who kind of were struggling with some of their grades.
Oh yeah, you're going to talk about that, are you?
Just about communication around that, and I've actually told them what my grades were yesterday. And I'm like, what? So that they were stressed because they didn't get, distinctions or high distinctions for a certain subject, and then they were just stressed about, now I'm just going to go work at a fast food chain because I'm never going to be a good dietitian. So it's very, very dietitian life-like in terms of they just didn't think that was enough. Perfectionism rules, but I guess we just had the discussion that doesn't really matter at all as long as you know the base level and then you're a good human, can work with people, which is something that uni doesn't really teach you, which is why a lot of people get found out when they get out in the degree. Like Peter and I have talked about it previously, like full HDs on all of your subjects actually scares us a little bit about you as a human, as a dietitian.
Well, let's just say we're not, assuming this is the case, but the ones that we've interviewed, better suited for other positions.
Yeah, better suited for other positions. So not in private practice, maybe in a clinical or research position, that would be 100%.
And they'd fully identify with that if you ask them.
Yeah, and based on what this is just based on our experience, but then in the same token, like, I don't care if someone's just got all passes, like, yes, that will flow similar red flags in terms of like, well, do you care about dietetics? But then there's other stuff that goes along with it. So yeah, I guess we're just saying that we wouldn't give a shit what your grades are, as long as you pass, it's fine. And like I was saying to them yesterday, like I got distinctions, I think only for the nutrition subjects and some of them, and then outside of that, I was getting credits and whatever. Like
mine was the flip side.
Yours was what? HDs all round?
No, distinctions and HDs in everything related to the background stuff, not the actual nutrition.
Dietetics.
No.
Yeah.
No, none of my dietetic stuff. I actually got really good marks for all your biochem, your genetics, all your that stuff. Nailed, smashed it. But everything else related to nutrition.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. So, yeah. And yet, now she's the boss dietitian. So it's just, I guess, testament to that you can do it without having perfect grades in those nutrition dietetics subjects. You don't need that. That's a portion. You still need to have base knowledge, yes, but the skill of a practitioner or a clinician is working with people, because 9 times out of 10 you will be. Other than doing ICU, pediatric ICU, that kind of stuff where you don't have to talk to the human. But yeah, that just about rounds out our week. So yeah, see ya next week. Hopefully we have positive news because we have our Telstra Business Awards next week. So we will let you know.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel down there.
Do it.
Get on it.